Hello, I'm FXToyCat and welcome back to an episode of my Minecraft Xbox Update Adventures Let's Play. This is the Let's Play where I'm playing through the various updates that have come out for Minecraft on the Xbox, building stuff, killing stuff, and of course, destroying stuff. And in today's episode, I'm actually going to be building something brand new. I had a really fun idea that I've definitely never had before because I decided I have so much packed ice, right, from the destroying of the, the ice stands, the icebergs, etc. And I'm going to get a whole bunch more as soon as they eventually properly fix that stuff. So I figured, why not use some of the ice I've got to build something I've always wanted to build, which is a giant arena made out of it. I once saw it in a realm and I was like, I need to make something like that. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to be making a brand new, never seen before, never attempted, especially never failed build in Minecraft. It's going to be great and I hope you look forward to it. So happy, like April, I guess, everyone. It's kind of cool when April starts because it means the year is now officially 25% complete, at least in terms of months, right? So, if you're kind of thinking to yourself like, man, 2019's lasting forever, and no one really ever thinks that because as you get older, years kind of get faster, not slower, right? Like, because as a percentage of the total, each brand new year is getting smaller and smaller, like as a percentage of the total of your life. So every year should be getting faster for you, but maybe like something bad happened, in which case, sorry, something bad happened, but I have some good news. We're a quarter of the way through the year, so it's basically a quarter less bad than it was yesterday, so maybe that makes you feel better. Anyway, let me talk about, so if you're curious, like, because this, the Let's Play is not only a great opportunity to build some stuff, again, the first time ever, never done before, that's 100% sure, but also, it's a good opportunity to talk about what's been going on the past week, and my past week has mostly been Japan. I could talk about that all day, but I really, like, as soon as I get back, I try to be like, look, things are normal again, I didn't go anywhere, I was here the whole time, and, we don't have to talk about travel, because I know most people hate talking about, like, travel and places and stuff. It's just not a relatable subject, right? So instead, what I wanted to talk about, because I was in Japan, had a great time. Earlier today, I drank, I think, one of my last energy drinks I took back, because here's the thing that I really love about Japan, and like that managed to get me through it, was that they have like super concentrated energy drinks. So you drink like 50 milliliters or something, and it's the equivalent of like, like half a can or something. And it's like, oh yeah, you drink that, and all of a sudden your brain's awake and wired, and that's why I can record this video, even if it is 7 AM. So at least for me, it's gonna be great times, because yeah, if you don't know, on April the 1st, everything has to be done before midnight. It's just, or midday, I think it must be. So, therefore this video has to be recorded before then, even if not uploaded, because it's just the rules of the internet today. Anyway, so we're in the TE31 Let's Play part of the world. Again, haven't seen this in a very long time, especially not 6 to 8 days ago. And because of that, we're going to be working on a brand new build, because I want to finish this little area. Part of making, the world something that you can release is making sure there's, things in each bit. Like, having empty plots is great, because it means you can work on your whole thing. But also, like, if I can place something there, why not just do so? So today, let's use this giant area. It's going to be, like, behind the battle arena, but in front of the weird little desert houses. And we're going to make a giant arena-style thing. I don't know, like, arena is the best term, but yeah, that's what we're going to do. It's going to be great fun. We're going to make it like, I guess, like 19 by 19. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then we have to find the middle of this, which is going to be really hard now that I think about it. Yeah, I have no idea how we're going to do that. I guess what we can just do is like, actually, I don't know what we're going to do. So we'll go for 21, just to make things easier. And then we'll count the 11th block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we go for 10 in each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we do the same on the other side. Boom, we fixed things. Look how great I am at solutions. I definitely don't have problems building things like maybe this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then this should be 10. I don't know if I did that correctly. We'll do one last count, just to be 100% sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there, boom. We've got things going. So, anyway, with that said, now we've gone out the tricky business of counting, which is always important to do. Let me talk about something that's been on my mind a lot recently, because, I have been naked a lot in the past few weeks, because, in the West, it's like it's a Western sensitivity or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, you just don't need to get naked anymore. Like, at least in my life, there is no required nakedness. Even when I was younger, I literally once, had to get into like a shower after like a game of rugby, and even then, like, I probably could have avoided it if I wanted to. It was the only time I've ever been naked. I've been around other naked people kind of unwillingly, like it's a thing you just don't have to do anymore, or at least maybe you never had to do it. But it's an interesting thing, like I was thinking about recently, and one of the kind of quirks, at least to me, of that system is like it means that you kind of never have to see your actual body, right? Like the way your body is perceived by the world, 99.9% of the time is like what it looks like with clothes on top, right? Which is really cool. If let's say something's really deformed about you, something's you know, you know, something's objectively not correct with you, like you know, maybe I think about myself, maybe you think about yourself, then boom, you never have to show it to anyone. But then the counter side of that is like if there's something which is entirely normal, you're not sure if it's normal because you've never seen anyone else like that. You know, you've only seen it's an interesting kind of thing like that. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is because I was thinking about it, and although getting naked is kind of strange, like showing off that whole thing is a really weird thing, you know what's really even stranger? It's the idea of clothes as a whole. Like you know, it's strange to be naked, but it's stranger that clothes are just an ingrained part of life. Like before we invented clothes, how did we exist in most of the planet where there isn't, like, you know, like I had to wear a hoodie yesterday because it was so cold. Like it just randomly got really cold in the UK, and it's like, oh yeah, well, I mean, in the era before clothes, we just kind of died, and you know, I get they're useful for that, but otherwise, like, when did we get to the point that like we can never not wear clothes? Which is kind of, you know, it's kind of the situation we're in right now, right? Like, oh yeah, of course you wear clothes. Why would you ever want to not wear them? That would be strange, right? So yeah, it's something that I think about, and I'm like, huh, that is kind of weird, because then eventually someone got to the stage where it's like, you know, we're all wearing clothes so often now that why not invent pockets? Pockets were an invention at some point, right? Someone was like, oh, what if the potato sack you're wearing also could store your copper coins or whatever the currency was back then, and you know, like, you'd have to be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna buy the new pocketed clothes. But like, pockets are such a weird thing. Why do you need storage built into you? Like, I know women in particular, you know, it's not a happy time to be a woman because you just don't get storage. Every single clothes designer is like, you know, you need maybe one finger worth of space, and that's about it. Because, you know, I guess women bring bags everywhere. Or maybe women bring bags everywhere because they have small pockets. I don't know for sure, but it's crazy how much, like, society evolves around you, and you don't think about it till you stop and realize, like, oh yeah, it is just, you know, like, if you didn't have clothes, like, let's just say, right now, you appeared into the world at your current age, but without a family, without anything like that, you can exist in the world. You need clothes. But how do you buy clothes? You're not allowed to go to the clothes store unless you're already wearing clothes. You get kicked out if you go there without clothes, right? So you have to make your own clothes before you can. You know, it's just a weird thing. Like, there's a self-built loop into society where you need clothes to go to the place where you get clothes, and it's almost like, oh yeah, like in a lot of countries, not the UK actually. I think it's kind of cool, but in most countries, you need money to have a bank account, right? Like to get to the stage where you can have money paid into somewhere, you need to spend a certain amount of money. It's like, wait, what is... It's the same kind of weird, like, oh yeah, society built itself and makes some really weird, in my opinion at least, really, really weird loops. And yeah, so anyway, it's a thing I've been thinking about at least a little bit. Maybe you think that's crazy, and I think you'd be entirely in your own rights for thinking that. So let me talk about something that's not crazy, which is this building, which I've never built anything like before. Definitely have no recollection of that if you think so. But yeah, I think this is going quite well. I think we've I think that by the end of this, it should look like a nice, perfect, I don't know what a slightly, I guess it's a diamond. It's gonna be a nice diamond with like some rotating in and out walls. And because it's a desert, it's like a fun contrast for an arena like this. So there's a fun thing. Anyway, so the month is April, right? As I clarified at the start of this video, you know, it's the start of April, so a brand new month has begun, and April was really, like, famous for, what, two things? April the 1st, you know, April Fools or whatever, and it's famous for, sometimes Easter, I guess, maybe, and then also, you know, like, at a certain age, it becomes famous for 420, right? Like, if you're not aware, and you probably, I mean, it's like, it's better for your soul if you're not aware, but, you know, 420 is April 20th, which for some reason in weed culture, let's call it, you know, in the drug circles, is known as it's like weed day, right? Or weed time even on regular things, and it's one of those really crazy things where, like, because I had a bunch of stoner friends in school, like way younger than probably shouldn't have existed. Like age 12, I had some friends who were like, oh yeah, a man offered us some drugs, so we took him up on that opportunity, and we did it wrong, but we did it anyway. Like, you know, it's a really strange thing that is a thing that was a thing, I would say. But yeah, like, so when I was like super young, I had stoner friends, and like, you know, honestly, you know, even though most of the again, it's like a thing like that. Most stoners. Like it's like an ambition killer, right? But anyway, so most of the friends are still good friends to this day. They're good people. But one of the things that they told me very early on, like when I was 14, as like, oh yeah, let me explain this really crucial bit of like, again, our culture. It's kind of like how, you know, when you're on a sports team, you're like, oh yeah, we gotta do this all the time because we're sports team people. You know, you see this in a whole bunch of different fields of life, where like, oh yeah, you're in X group, so you must do Y behavior. And one of the things to do with that is, oh yeah, so 420, right? And the thing they told me was the most ridiculous thing, that like, oh, there's this random school in America, and on, they said they'd always meet at 420 to smoke the stuff or whatever. And so they did. They met at 420, and they did it every day. And therefore, because that, you know, 4:20 p.m. I guess it would be, because that was 4:20 p.m. and because April the 20th is a thing, therefore we celebrate our day then. And it's the most ridiculous story I'd ever heard. Even at the spot, like even 14, I was like, huh, cool story, right? Yeah, that's really great. And you know, you kind of leave it at that. But I looked into it recently because I'm working on, if you don't know, while I was in Japan, one of the things I did is I worked on a book that I've been meaning to finish, as well as a new book that I guess will be like probably by the end of the year. But yeah, so I was working on a book that required me to do some research, and I looked into 420 at one point because I was like, I need to fact check, like where do we think this comes from? And would you believe it? That's the official story. Some kids in some random high school in some random part of America met up at 420, and now one of the biggest events in the calendar. Like, again, I would say the second biggest thing that happens in April, when Easter isn't in April, is because some random, like, how is that a real thing? I don't know, but it is. And it blows my mind sometimes that human tradition can be that, like, easily entrenched or easily come up with, right? Like, you always like to believe that, like, there's, for all the decisions that you don't understand, oh yeah, well, someone really smart must have made that at some point. But the truth is, oh, did I hear a creeper? I did not hear a creeper. But I think the truth is so much of, like, so much of the world as a whole is just kind of come up with by accident, right? Like, so many people are just kind of going their own way, and something great happens to happen. And I think the perspective on whether you believe that, like, oh yeah, everyone plans it, or whether people could just do great things themselves, I think that can, like, change a lot of the rest of your perspective of the world. Because suddenly you start to realize, like, oh, you know, that there is no, you know, there are experts in a subject, but there's no such thing as, like, a grand council. You know, you start to realize that, like, oh yeah, the idea of a magic group that can control everything. Like, some people are really, really suspicious of the Illuminati or whatever, but you begin to realize, like, well, obviously, I mean, like, there are too many incompetent decisions for there to be, like, a grand council or something. And sometimes that brings me, I don't know what the word would be, but it makes me realize, like, huh, you know, I guess it's all okay, but also it's almost scarier knowing that, like, everything happens by chance. Because, you know, we at least, if you live in a nuclear country, like one of the 6 countries that is sanctioned to have nuclear weapons, or one of the 4 that are not, but you elect someone, you know, you get kind of bored, and then they have full control of nuclear weapons, and they can do whatever they want with them. It's I know it's super, you know, realizing the incompetence of humanity is both a really interesting, like, it's a, you know, it's interesting, but then it's also a little bit scary at the same time. And that's why a lot of people just like to believe that, like, oh yeah, there's just some really smart man in charge. Please be some smart man in charge. This can't be all left down to chance. And yeah, interesting little thing like that. But before we dive in too much to that, I just wanted to kind of just finish and say, yeah, as it turns out, 90% of what people hear without any source and while telling the story very vaguely is just, you know, hearsay. It's nonsense. It's something that someone came up with at one point, you know, like Chinese whispers or whatever. But every now and then, even the most ridiculous of people with no incentive to tell the truth will get it right. And I don't know if that's like the whole broken clock is right twice a day thing, or if maybe, you know, you shouldn't not, you know the phrase, you shouldn't believe everything. It's true, but I also believe in the phrase, you shouldn't not believe everything. Because, you know, apparently that's just as important, as I've learned recently. So yeah, fun fact with Toy Cat. Anyway, so I want to talk about one other big thing, because something that has been, oh, so actually wait, well, before that, so this is really important, because fun facts of Toy Cat, you know that's like 80% of why I live, right? So fun facts of Toy Cat, April the 20th is also Hitler's birthday. I don't know if there's any relevance to that, because, you know, like the whole culture thing started after World War II, but it's kind of wild to me that how many birthdays are on like famous days, I guess, or like, you know, if you, actually, you know, there's a website called famousbirthdays.com out there. I really don't understand the appeal of it, but it does exist, and a lot of people, even some YouTubers, they browse themselves and they spend money boosting themselves on famous birthday. Like, I don't understand that in the slightest. You know, it's something beyond my realm of like proper comprehension. Like, I don't think I can relate to someone whose biggest goal is being the most famous person born on their day of the week. But, you know, it's a thing some people do. But it's one of those websites that thrives just on this, like, oh yeah, you don't realize that there's only 365 days in the year, and therefore somebody famous is related to you. Instead, what you think is like, oh, I was born on July the 13th, and I know there's someone famous who is born on the same day as me. I don't remember it because, fun fact, I don't check, you know, to see it very often. But you think to yourself, like, wow, what are the odds that, you know, Patrick Kirk, what's his name? Captain Picard, Patrick Stewart, that's the guy. He's in a lot of things. Wow, he was born on the same day as me, which I think is probably true. I think it's him. But it's like, you think to yourself, what are the odds? That's crazy low. But even if you pick one specific celebrity, there's a 1 in 365 chance that they have the same birthday as you. Like, it's a really, really low, you know, it sounds really low, but it's also quite high. Like, if I just name a random guy right now, like Ashton Kutcher, he might share a birthday with me. I can't, you know, I know I said I didn't want to check it, but I really want to check it now. Famous birthdays, IVX Toycat. Like, that could be correct, right? Wouldn't that be crazy? It's a 1 in 365 chance. So, people born on July the 13th. The most famous one is Caleb Logan LeBlanc, a YouTube star. And the second most is an Instagram star. You know, no one... Okay, Harrison Ford is the most famous person born on the same day as me. And then Ken Jeong. See, there you go, Ken Jeong. I really like him for his community work. He's doing stand-up these days if you watch your Netflix and you like that sort of thing. But isn't it... You might think to yourself, it's crazy. What are the odds that you're born on the same day as Ken Jeong? Or Patrick Stewart is in there, actually. Yay. Look at that. I somehow remember that. Random little piece of trivia. But it's one of those... it's one of those things that you know, because you're applying unnecessary significance to the fact that this particular celebrity was born the same day as you, but you'd be just as amazed if any celebrity was born on the same day as you. Because the truth is, there is tens of thousands of celebrities. If you include Instagram stars, you know, I don't like that term, but if you include Instagram stars, then it's like hundreds of thousands. Like, there are many famous people born on any day of the year because there aren't enough days of the year to match up with the number of celebrities. And therefore, look up your birthday sometime, name a celebrity, be like, wow, that's crazy. And it kind of fits. I think what actually is a little bit more wild is when someone not only has the same birthday, but the same birth year as you. So, if I'm 23 right now, then Cody Bellinger, a baseball player, is actually the same birthday. And that's like a little bit shocking. But like, I don't know baseball. I don't know this guy. I don't think he's a major player based on the fact that he comes below, you know, like most YouTube stars and Instagram stars. But yeah, applying unnecessary significance to events is something you see a lot. And that's kind of what, like, you know, for April 20th and also April the 1st and also Easter, right? You know, I've mostly been focusing my hatred towards the first two of those things, you know, like Hitler's birthday and, you know, like April just randomly having significance. But also Easter is arbitrary and different each year. Like, it's the 6th Sunday after Lent or something. I don't know what it is. It's a changing rule every single year because of how that goes. And because of that, like, the day of Easter is literally not significant. It's just like, oh yeah, this is a Sunday where we're going to meet and give each other eggs, which is unrelated to the significance of it, but everyone likes chocolate, so I guess why not? I don't know, it's weird, right? It's a strange thing in my opinion. But yeah, we like to attach unnecessary significance to any event like that, which is also why I think there are so many days. Like, so it was Mother's Day yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't meet up my mother. I arranged to, and then she was busy. You know, is it my fault if my mother's busy on Mother's Day? Like, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, basically, you know, like Mother's Day was yesterday, but it's also at the same day. It's I don't know what it was. I think it's called like Trans Day or Trans Right Day. But it's like, isn't that kind of crazy that like we can't? Not only do we have two holidays on the same day, but we have like, you know, very very different. Yeah, arguably not. You know, like simultaneously celebratable days. And it's because, oh yeah, and you can just make any day anything. Something being a day doesn't make it significant. Like, people are like, oh, it's peanut butter day. Let's go to the store and get peanut butter. Like, that's fine if you just want an excuse to eat peanut butter. But it's not like there really is an important peanut butter day, or like, oh yeah, friends and family of, the Iraq War Veterans Day. Like, you can use that as a day if you were meaning to do it anyway, and now you need significance. But the truth is like, the fact that there's a day for something means nothing. There is, I was in Japan during something called White Day. You know, you didn't celebrate it, and therefore you're a terrible, I think it's girlfriend, because I think on Valentine's Day, oh no, it's, in Japan, Valentine's Day is for girls to give gifts to men, and then White Day is the reverse. So, why don't we do that? Boyfriends, why didn't you, give your girlfriend some gifts on 3/14, which is also Pi Day, by the way. It's also, like the second week in... you see my point here? It's just like, man, there are too many days that they overlap so much, and they all mean nothing, It's kind of wild to me, at least. So, yeah, before I go today, I wanted to address the fact that, it is April 1, right? And therefore, Toycat, what's the April Fool joke? You probably even teased it in the title, right? But the greatest April Fool's joke is at this point, because now it's just so expected that everyone does something fake. Like at some point it was like a funny, haha, we tricked you kind of thing. But now everyone's so expecting of being tricked that everyone goes over the top on their jokes. Or they don't do them, or they do something really lame that makes something less functional. Like ruining the point of your website to make a joke about your website. It's a real thing, at least as far as I can tell. It's just how many businesses operate. And that's kind of crazy. Also, do you like my arena? It actually worked this time, as in the first time. I actually really do like this. I think this was done quite well. I think we should do something to the outside. I think the outside design is as ideal as the inside. But look at this. We made a fun little arena that looks like it's caving in on you. So you got a skylight, and I don't know. I like it a lot. But yeah, I think personally, with all of that said, like every April 1st, it's like, oh yeah, well, I mean, if you work in news or whatever, like you can't really do anything with it. Well, when you see an announcement, you might think, oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, it's April Fool's. So, in my opinion, at this point, at least until maybe it comes all the way full circle and it becomes fun to do again, I think the best April Fool's joke is no April Fool's joke whatsoever. You're waiting this whole episode, like, man, is the April Fool's joke that Toycat's talking about 420 for some reason? That was not the April Fool's joke. The April Fool's joke was there wasn't one. I think, I got you to watch the whole way through this video. Would you have watched the Let's Play otherwise? I don't know, but I got you. April Fools. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. No, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you did all enjoy it. If not all the way, then maybe a little bit of the way. If you did, you can obviously hit the like button and let me know. You can hit the bell if you really want me to know, because everybody loves a good belling on YouTube, right? And if you want to guarantee you see more things and live streams, because we'll be getting back to that now. I'm really excited for the near future of the channel, and yeah, you wanna be a part of this, because the no mining, no crafting run, it's still in progress, but it's doing quite well. I don't know, yeah, lots of things coming. I hope you're looking forward to seeing them. And for now, thank you very much for watching, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.